What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Anyone? I see 2 people in the room. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, cool. Hey, Henry. I don't know if you're still here. I see your question. Those notifications are a YouTube thing. They send those out by default, so I don't have any control over that. First notification gets sent, and then they send out a reminder 1, 2, and that's out of my hands. So hope that answers your question. Oh, I got 5 watching now. Cool. All right, well, thanks for joining in, guys. You're watching. Got a beverage of choice here. And we're going to make some orecchiette, and I have a sausage and fennel ragu kind of working on the stove over there. I'm going to walk you through that as well. I'm going to try to go through the recipe without answering a ton of questions while I'm doing it. That way I don't get sidetracked. But I will definitely do a Q&A afterwards. If I can catch it while I'm working and answer it quickly, I will do so. A few house cleaning things. Cut my finger earlier. I have a Band-Aid on my index finger in my right hand, so I know that grosses some people out. Apologies, but cut my finger while I was cleaning up earlier, and there's nothing I can do about it. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel and this is your first time here, take a look, browse around some of my videos. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Always really love the support. It's very much appreciated. So I see there's more folks entering the stream now. Awesome. Hello, I see you guys. Hey, Chris, what's happening? Shared on Facebook. Thank you so much. From France. How's it going, Mohammed? Hope you guys are staying well over there. Okay, so orecchiette. First thing we're going to do is work on dough. This is a eggless dough. A pasta dough from southern Italy, Apulia, which is the boot of Italy, and you won't find a lot of pastas with egg in them. You'll find a lot of pasta with semolina, and in this case, my version of this orecchiette dough has a little bit of 00 too. So you could do 100% semolina, or you could do a little mixture of both. What I have here is 228 grams of semolina and 128 grams of 00. What I'm going to do, I'm going to marry those into a bowl here, like so. And then I'm going to add a nice fat pinch of salt, like that. Give it a quick stir with my hands. And then I'm going to dump it right out on the counter, right out on the work surface. Hopefully you guys can see that. I might have to adjust the camera a little bit, move it down a little bit so you can see me make this dough. Give me 1 sec here. Move this down a hair. Might cut off my head, but there we go. That's probably better. Is that better, guys? Anyways. Got my pile of flour, seasoned flour here, and I'm going to make a well in the center all the way down to the countertop. This is your wall around the outside here, all right? You don't want any liquids that are going in this well to come over the top or break this wall, or you'll have a mess in your hands. So yeah, all the way down to the counter. Now I need to grab some warm water. I had to write down all my measurements because I can't remember them all the time. 170 grams. So that's about 3/4 of a cup or 6 ounces. So I got my scale set up over here. I have 170 grams of warm water. And we're going to add that right to the well. Let's see here. That I've made in the flour. 170 grams, let's see. Right about, over just by a little bit. There we go, 170. So this is going to go right in the well here. Just like that. And then I like to start forming the dough. We're starting incorporating all the ingredients together with a fork. Hey, excited, PDX Les, how's it going? Good to see you again. Awesome. Okay, so I've got my liquid in the well here. I've got my wall of flour around it, and I'm going to start grabbing some of that flour from the perimeter here. And I'm just going to form a paste with it. Whoop, see? I got a little bit out. There we go. My walls weren't strong enough. So as I move around the perimeter on the inside of this wall of flour, you can see, I don't know if you can see from there, I might have to move the camera closer, but you can see that there's a paste starting to form of this flour here. Just like so. All right, and once it gets thick enough, I'm just going to move to my hands and start kneading with my hands. This is pretty good. Yeah, like that. So grab what's on the fork here, get that off. Now with dough, you know, the amount of water that's needed to hydrate the dough properly, it's sort of relative to your environment. So if you're working in a humid environment, you may need a little less water. If you're working in a very dry environment, like the dead of winter, around here it's pretty dry, you might need to scooch more water. So now I'm going to start working with my hands, just incorporating everything together. Maybe push down on it a little bit. Just try to work all of the ingredients. Everything's going to start to come together into a dough here. It's going to look kind of shaggy at first, as all doughs do when you have some loose, dry ingredients. Ain't watching. It's a holiday in the United States and other countries. Whoever is celebrating Easter is probably eating dinner. This is our dinner for Easter, so we'll be enjoying that later. So yeah, I'm trying not to get my Band-Aid finger in here. I also have a dough scraper here. If you don't know me and you haven't seen my videos yet, when you start watching, you might notice a very, very common ingredient. This is a dough scraper or a scraper, whatever you want to call it, but I use this quite a bit too. And I use it when I'm making pasta to kind of scrape up any of the stuff that's stuck to the countertop. Sound still okay, guys? I know we've been fighting that recently. So yeah, we're just working this dough. This is a very slick surface here. This I have a tablecloth over this prep table with a wooden board on top of it, so sometimes it slides. All right, see? I have some leftover flour here that I'm going to work into the dough, and at some point I'm just going to take what's left and put it to the side. But for right now, I'm going to continue working this dough. Try to get all of this stuff mixed together. In and out, huh? You use all the flour? I'm not going to use every last granule of flour. Hey Chris, I appreciate the feedback. If it starts to get real bad, would you mind just throwing me another chat, another message? No freezing? No freezing is about the... Is anyone else experiencing the video and audio freezing? No freezing, okay. Well, it could be my... I mean, everybody's on the internet right now. It could be my upload speed. Okay, so I have a little bit of flour left. And that stuff's kind of dry at this point, so I'm going to push this over to the side. You can see partially hydrated flour here. This stuff, what's going to happen is if that gets into your dough, it's just going to be unpleasant. It's not going to provide you a very nice texture. Cool, Orecchiette from Dubai. Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining. Sometimes for only a second the audio stops. Yeah, man, I really don't know what my issue is with the audio. Hopefully it gets better as we continue to stream. All right, so you're going to want to knead this dough for probably 5 to 10 minutes, easy. And as you knead it, it'll start to become homogeneous and evenly hydrated. And it'll start to develop sort of a silky, smooth texture. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback on the video, guys. If you're hanging out, please keep me up to date. If it starts fading in and out too much, I'll just go straight from the iPhone. It's not ideal, but it's better than this Bluetooth lav mic that I'm using now. So yeah, I'm just working this dough, and I'm kind of pushing with my palm out, folding it back, rotating, and then pushing it out again. And I'm doing that as much as I can. And eventually you're going to get a really nice smooth dough. And when you get there, you need to let the dough relax for a little bit. Because right now we're working this gluten, we're forming gluten, and the dough's not going to want it. It's going to contract. It's not going to allow you to roll out or work with it at all until it rests. I see we got a few more folks watching. Appreciate it. How long were you rested for? Well, honestly, you could make this dough the night before and let it rest in the fridge. That way it's ready to go the next day when you want to use it. Or you could make it ahead of time, let it rest for, I usually let it rest for at least an hour. Some people say 30 minutes. I don't think that's long enough. So at least an hour. I'm getting winded. I need to start working out. But yeah, at least an hour, I would say. When you start trying to make pasta shapes with it and it's just fighting you the entire time, you know that you just need to let it rest even longer. From Saudi Arabia, may I ask what time is it in your country? It's 6:45 p.m. right now. So we've been making pasta dough for about 15 minutes. All right, so here we go. Can you guys see that? It's pretty smooth. It's a pretty smooth dough. Pasta dough is a lot more, it's more firm than than a bread dough, obviously, but I can feel that it's got even texture all the way around. I'm not feeling any bits of dry flour or any wet spots at all. It is pretty even in terms of mixing and how it's currently hydrated. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to form it into a ball like so, okay? And then I'm going to grab some plastic film, which I have right here. Had some prepared, already cut. And I'm just going to wrap it nice and tight. And I'm going to let that sit for at least an hour. Now, I have some already, I've already formed some orecchiette, which I'll show you in a minute because I know you guys don't want to hang out with me but so long. So, this dough here, and I'll probably use this tomorrow. I have some dough left over, the orecchiette that I was making before we went live. Let me clean my work surface here, all this stuff out of the way. Forming orecchiette, you don't want a lot of flour on your work surface because you're going to have a hard time working with the dough and forming that shape. And I'll explain why in just a second. So there we go. I think that's pretty. Yeah. Hi, Hugo. How are you? Thanks for joining. We got 13 in the now. It was a little bit of a slower night than was it yesterday morning? Anyways, here's the dough. I have a little bit left over here, enough to make some orecchiette for you. There you go. It even looks more silky now and smooth, and it feels almost like Play-Doh. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to cut this in half, like this. So I'm going to create two pieces like this. I would say that this is It's about an inch thick in the center here. I'm gonna keep one of these guys rolled up. The dough that you're not working with, make sure you keep rolled in plastic or put a bowl over it. I've seen people do that too. And only work with small portions at a time, especially when you're making orecchiette. Because if the dough dries, you're gonna have a hard time forming the shape. This dough will form a skin as it sits out. So here, I'm gonna roll this out into a log. I don't know if any of you guys have made gnocchi before. We're kind of doing the same thing here. And I'm rolling this out into a log, a rope, probably a better word. It's about ½ an inch. It hasn't gotten any thinner. I'm just rolling it into a cylinder. Now I'm going to cut little pieces that I would say they're about the size of, about the size of a mini marshmallow. That. Just like this. So we're looking at something like so, just like this. Now, to form the orecchiette, the easiest way to do it is with a knife, a butter knife. At least that's what we call these in the States, a butter knife. Working with one of these at a time. And I'll move the camera closer after I make a few so you can see a close-up of the technique here. But I'm using the knife, and I'm really using kind of this part of the knife right here. Not the tip and not down here, kind of where it starts to curve in, right here. Okay? It looks so delicious, thank you. You remember me? Yes, I remember you talking about orecchiette the other night. Right on. Yeah, I did. I made a potato au gratin with ham. I totally remember you, man. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. All right, so with the orecchiette, this knife here, the part of the knife that I was referring to, you're gonna position that over this little piece, and you're gonna push down and pull it toward you, applying pressure to the dough. And you're gonna get this little piece like this, and you're gonna roll it right over your index finger, or middle finger, whatever one. See that? That's your little ear right there. Orecchiette. Little ear in Italian. So yeah, this little guy right here. All right, let me grab the camera. I'll move it closer. You guys can see a little bit, maybe a better perspective. Maybe see exactly what I'm doing. Let's see here. How am I going to do that? How about from right here? I move the camera down a little bit. Is that a little closer for you guys? Here, check that out. Okay. So here, I'm going to grab a piece, one of these guys right here. I'm going to stand it up, just like that. I'm using this part of the knife right here. I'm going to press down and pull it toward me. Okay? See how kind of curled around the knife a little bit? And now I'm just going to kind of press it over one of my fingers to form the orecchiette. Okay? Let's do a few more. Is this a good perspective? Is this a good angle for you guys, or would you prefer to see it straight on? Right there. I don't know why I use my middle finger. Some people use their index finger. I guess it's just habit. When I was in Italy, I spent a summer in Florence. I worked for a chef who had fresh orecchiette on the menu. In the station that I worked, I had to make a kilo of this stuff pretty much every day. So I got pretty good at it. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. See, I just busted this one up right here. Great angle and audio is better. Thank you, Chris. There. Again, another orecchiette. All right. Just like that. So, let's have some fun here and do one other angle. Whoops. Can you guys hear me? Let's go down like that. Still hear me, yeah? Okay. Right here. Okay. Using this part of the knife right here. Press down and toward you. And it's curling over the knife a little bit. And then press down. Right there. And no, I'm not giving you guys the finger. I love you all very much. I just use my middle finger. I don't know why. Again, another orecchiette. So I have all my orecchiette here I'm starting to make. See that? All my little ears. Let's keep going, huh? Make a few more. Just like so. Again, apologies for the Band-Aid. You know, believe it or not, I cut myself on my dough scraper. Probably the dullest piece of equipment, utensil in my kitchen. How did I do that? I have no idea. Anyways, another one. Just like that. We got one more piece here, and then we'll start cooking ragu, and we'll work on a final product here. Here we go, orecchiette. Better than using the Band-Aid finger, exactly. It's a good thing I'm lefty. I'm a left-handed person. I cut my right hand, that's a good thing. All right. Maybe a little too close for comfort. Hey guys. All right. We're going back over here. I gotta come up with a better way to manage this camera, huh? Anyways. So, what I have here are some orecchiette that I made earlier, okay? We're gonna add these. Actually, that one's ripped, so I'm not gonna use that. Kitchen tour utensils. Yeah, I could do that. I probably do some cleaning first. The three of us, I have a family of three here. You know, we're in the house 24/7 right now, and trying to keep it clean is nearly impossible. So I don't necessarily want to show you a dirty kitchen, but if I can get the kitchen cleaner, and you can't see everything that I see, trust me, but if I, yeah, happy to do that. Kitchen tour, utensil tour. Okay, let's bring these over to the stove, and we're gonna talk ragu, and we'll cook the orecchiette, and then we'll put a final dish together. You guys can see what we're eating tonight. How about that? Gonna grab this. We're gonna go over here. Kind of angle this down a little bit. Hopefully that is okay. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry, the computer's in the screen here. I need to be able to see my chat. Oh, cocktail too. Gotta have that on hand, right? So, ragu. Let's talk ragu. Orecchiette are good. I got some simmering water here. It's got some salt. I usually add about tablespoon and a half of salt per gallon of water. But because there's sausage in this ragu, it's going to be a bit saltier. I backed off on the salt in the water a little bit because I used some of the water to finish the dish off with. All right, and I'll show you in a few. What kind of flour did I use? I used a combination of 00 and semolina. The semolina is finely ground, by the way, that you can get a couple different types, but I'm using the finely ground. I think it's called remetinata. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, we have a batch of my San Marzano tomato sauce. I left a link in the video description for that recipe. There's a video on my channel already that shows you how to make this. It's very simple tomato sauce, okay? So there's not a lot of science behind that. Pretty straightforward. Have your own type of tomato sauce, like in your own recipe, just go ahead and use that. But I did leave a link in the video description box. And I have a pound, well, it was raw weight, was a pound, but I have some cooked off mild Italian sausage right here. And I got this finer texture because I use a whisk when it's cooking, and I mash up the sausage as it's cooking, and it breaks it down really nicely. Actually, I do the same thing with my tomato sauce too. I use a whisk to break up the whole tomatoes. It works really, really well. Anyways, this is a pound raw by weight. I don't know what the weight is once it's cooked off. I don't know. 00, yeah, it was a portion of 00. Okay, so in order to make this ragu, we need to get a few things going in the pot. Olive oil, nice good glug here, okay? Let's get this over medium heat. So as I said before, there's a few things you need to prep ahead of time, like cooking off the sausage and making tomato sauce. That's just how I do it. I usually have at least this on hand almost all the time, and I always have some sausage in the fridge, whether it's cooked or not, you know. Move you over here while the olive oil's up, and we're going to work on just chopping some garlic. Okay. Move this out of the way, get this out of the way. The garlic, I would do a heaping tablespoon if you can. Oh, computer, so I can see my chat. This angle's good enough? Okay. Yeah, I'm new with the live streaming, so I'm working on my angles and the quality of my stream. Can't see my lovely face, but I apologize for that. And again, I apologize for the Band-Aid on my finger. So in order to take the skin off a piece of garlic, you can just cut the end off and then just hit it with your knife. Usually comes right out. Off, rather. Okay. We're going to thinly slice these to start, and then we're just going to mince them up. We're going to add them to the oil that's preheating in the pot right now. Okay. All right. Hope everybody's had a good Sunday so far. I spent pretty much the beginning of the day shooting a video on how to make cinnamon rolls. So that's coming up. My subscribers voted on whether they wanted to see a roasted chicken video or a how to make a cinnamon roll video. Cinnamon rolls won by just a little bit, so that's coming up this week. And then we'll follow that video up with a how to roast a chicken video. Okay, there we go. Minced garlic. Moving this over. There we go. I tell you what, because I'm not done shooting that cinnamon roll video, so the rest of the video is going to have a Band-Aid finger in it. All right, we're going to go in the pot. Need to turn my heat up a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Rizzy Eats, hey, how's it going? I think you also said you wanted to see some fresh pasta, am I right? Well, you did. Love the apron. Thanks. Thanks, ZC. Appreciate it. Okay, you probably can't see in here, so I'm gonna do this. Let's see if that helps a little bit. There we go. You can see now. So I'm just simmering this lightly. Now I'm going to go in with my fennel. I took some fennel seed, then I pulverized it with a mortar and pestle. That's going in. It's a teaspoon. All right. Trying not to burn any of my garlic. I see a little bit starting to get kind of toasty. Move it around in the pan a little bit so it doesn't burn. There we go. All right, once it catches a little bit of color, sausage goes in there. Beautiful. So give that a stir. You can hear the sizzling. Incorporate everything together here. Let it cook for maybe a minute or so, and then we're going to go right in with the San Marzano tomato sauce. All right. Let's go. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use this guy right here. Sure you get all of it, you know? You don't want to leave any behind. I mean, you made it. You might as well use every last bit. There. Give it a good stir. We're going to let it come up to a simmer, and then just reduce the heat and let it cook for a little bit. And while I do that, I'll take about 3 or 4 minutes. I can answer some questions if you guys. Let's turn the heat a little bit, bring it up to a simmer. I'm not going to season it yet either because I have sauce in there which is quite salty, and I'm using salted pasta water to cook the pasta in. So once I marry this stuff together and I pick it up in the pan, I'll taste it before I add any seasoning in it whatsoever. I don't want it to be over salted. Hi. You guys have any questions for me? Anything while we wait for a few minutes here? Any of you guys cook a big Easter dinner? Huh? I know traffic's a little low tonight on the stream. I'm sure people are checking around right now. Okay. Coming up to a simmer over here. So, reduce the heat. Gonna let it cook just for a few minutes. Put the lid on so I don't get tomato sauce everywhere. Ragu everywhere. We don't need this anymore. Clean up my station a little bit here. Making a... Okay. Did you ever try to cook Moroccan? Oh man, I love Moroccan food. Let's see, I'm sure I have. To be honest with you, I'm a little intimidated by cooking it. Some of it seems pretty complicated. Pastilla, is that how you pronounce it? That's with like the filo, right? The pastry, the dough. That's Moroccan, right? Honestly, no, I really haven't tried to cook too much Moroccan food, but I've had it. I've eaten plenty of it. It's delicious. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I should put in the queue for sure. You got any recommendations of where I might be able to go to do some research on Moroccan food? Cool. Yeah, if you just throw them in the chat, that'd be great. You could also email me at, my email is tberica@gmail.com. My last name is B-E-R-E-I-K-A, so tberica@gmail.com. If you have some places to go that I can, do a little research on, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. Pastilla and couscous are, yeah, couscous by hand. Ooh, I'm sure. I cured pork and made a ham for Easter. Amazing. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. That sounds absolutely fantastic. But tagines are not. I would send you my mom's recipes. Oh, you know, if you're willing to share, I will receive. Trust me. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. So, dirty pan going in the sink, along with this one too. I'd say normally I simmer this ragu. Here, come take a look. Normally I would simmer the ragu for at least 30 minutes or so. It's kind of a quick ragu, but since my family is waiting to eat, and I know you guys probably have better things to do on a Sunday night, we're gonna take some of this while it's still simmering. Finish off a plate for you so you can see it. So yeah, so this is the sausage and fennel ragu. Now remember, again, I'm not seasoning it right away because I have salty sausage in here and I'm using salted pasta water to finish the dish off. So I'll taste it when everything's come together and I'll adjust the seasoning if I need to. So we're gonna bring this on the back burner over here. I'm gonna drop my orecchiette. I'm gonna do one order, like one dish right now. All right, I'm not gonna do the whole thing, I'm just gonna show you one. So I'm gonna grab some of it. It's going in the water, simmering water here. There. I'd say that's a decent amount. Crank it up, let it simmer. There we go. I'm gonna grab a pan for a saute in here. Let's move this back a little bit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Mohammed. Okay. Oh, I already pulled it. It's right here. My saute pan. What I'm going to do is when this is done, it's going to go in there with some of this ragu and we're going to saute it. I'm going to add a little water to adjust the consistency of the sauce. And we're going to cook everything together for a minute or so. Let that sauce reduce a little bit and orecchiette is going to start grabbing that sauce. What's really cool about orecchiette is it has an area to grab those little bits of sausage right here. See that on the underside? It's going to grab all those little chunks of sausage. And then on the top, it has texture, which will pull some of the tomato sauce onto it. It's great. It's great. It's perfect. It's a really wonderful pasta shape. So this orecchiette only needs to cook. Needs to cook a little bit longer than some other fresh pastas, just because it's a little thicker in some areas. We'll let it cook for another minute. I'd say that's pretty good. Maybe 2 minutes in the water, and it's gonna cook in here for just a little bit. You guys can fire away some questions. I'll answer some while I'm sort of, kind of in limbo here. Oh, and to finish the dish off, a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. You could use a good Pecorino too. Southern Italy, you'll probably find more Pecorinos than you will Parmesan, but I think this is probably fairly ubiquitous in Italy. All right, let me see here. Yeah, that's pretty good. These guys are good to go. So, let me grab some of the sauce. All right, maybe about that much to start. Here we go. I'm going to grab a little bit of this pasta water just to loosen the sauce up a bit. The orecchiette are also going to carry some liquid over too. Yeah, sometimes I overshoot on the sauce, but that's okay. You don't have to spread it all onto your plate, unless you really want to. Okay, so this is going. Move this back a little bit. I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer, and I'll start moving the pan around, kind of, you know, incorporating all of the sauce in with the pasta. You know what I mean? Looks delish. PDX, thank you. Yeah, so the sauce just needs to reduce and thicken up a little bit, and the starch from this water will help do that. Some restaurants will actually add a little bit of flour to their water to make it extra starchy, so that when they use it to finish off dishes, like on a quick pickup, it'll tighten the sauce up really quick. We're getting there, folks. Real close. I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere. I am gonna quickly wash a dish. Just like so. There we go. Got a little bit of sauce on the range. Oh well. Here we go. Yeah. See how the sauce is tightening up? Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna scorch the heck out of my mouth, but I'm gonna test for seasoning right now. Honestly, it doesn't need any salt whatsoever. It's perfect, right? Just the way it is. Okay, let's go back over to the other table and I'll plate it up for you. Mise en place. That's right. You work in restaurants, don't you? Okay, we're coming back over here. And we'll plate it up. Let's bring this closer. Just like that. How about that? That's good. There's the bowl. Oh man, that's so good. What do you guys think? Does it look like a winner? It's not a winner quite yet because we have to grate a little Parmesan on there, huh? Just like that. Fresh orecchiette with a sausage and fennel ragu. All right. Does anybody got questions about what I just did? Anyone? I'll take 4 or 5 minutes to answer questions. It can be non-recipe related too. Doesn't really matter. Pure gold. Thank you. Bon appetit. Yes. Masterful. Thank you, John G. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for that information on the broth video too. I really appreciate that. That was awesome for you to share. Thank you. Well done. Enjoy. Thanks. Let's see here. Oh, might as well have a few bites while I'm just hanging out with you guys. You're gonna cook the dish right now? Awesome. You got everything you need? You got everything you need on hand? I mean, most of the stuff that I use tonight, I kind of stock anyways. You could get away with not using semolina, although that's not what's traditional, but you could seriously get away with it. You could just use AP and be okay. But you really do want to use semolina if you got it. Which sausage? I used a mild Italian sausage, but you know, any other fresh sausage would really work here. I mean, a spicy Italian, or I don't know, whatever your store has, it'll work. It'll work. You don't want to use a cured sausage. You want to use a fresh sausage, but my go-to is typically a mild Italian. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Any other questions while I eat? I'll give it another minute for somebody to chime in. If not, I'll probably check out and I'll catch you guys next time. But I should say, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already, and please share this video or any other video on my channel. Please share it as much as you can. Getting the name out there, getting my content out there would be really helpful, if you're looking for ways to help me out. Is fennel strong there? Well, I'm using fennel seed, so this is the dried seed. That can be quite strong. Fresh fennel, if it's like a factory farmed fennel that you get in the supermarket, most supermarkets, no, it's pretty mild. It's pretty high in water. But if you were to buy fennel at a local farmer's market around here, and some farmers do grow it, it's much more flavorful. Smaller, much smaller, but much more flavorful. Well, you know what? If you're not a huge fan of it, you can omit it from this recipe and you'll be fine. It'll still produce a really nice sauce. Fennel isn't something that's mandatory here. That's the beauty about cooking, is that you can mix it up, you can change it up, you can make the recipe your own. Talk about my training in cooking. Okay, yeah, John. So let's see. I didn't originally go to college for cooking. I went to school, at art school, for graphic design, and kind of found my way into kitchens a little later on. I did go to school later in life for a little bit, to culinary school, and I went to Italy for a summer. I spent a little over 3 months in Florence cooking, taking some classes in cooking for a small restaurant in Florence, in Piazza Santo Spirito. His name, Ristorante Ricci. The chef his name was Pierluigi Campi. And I worked the garde manger station with another individual, Avishai, who lives in Israel. And we worked together over there. We made a lot of the desserts, a lot of the cold plates, some crudo. We made fresh pasta as part of our daily prep. After that, I came home and I worked as a line cook in an Italian restaurant in a small section of Richmond that had been around for 20 plus years. And then after that, I moved to a country club and I did some larger scale cooking, like banquet cooking stuff, which was a cool experience, but it wasn't really for me. Then I moved on to a caterer. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I got an executive chef position to open up a small wine bar named Secco Wine Bar in Richmond, which still is open today, and they're phenomenal. But I worked there for 3 years. I ran that kitchen. I created a lot of great food, got some good recognition there. It was a fun job. It was a great first kitchen to sort of manage. From there, I went to a caterer and did some more large-scale, high-volume type of stuff. Again, wasn't for me. Got an offer to open up a restaurant in the west end of Richmond. So I helped out with that opening and worked there for a couple years. They shut down and rebranded. I stayed on for that and continued to help open up that second brand in the same location. Worked there for about a year, and then I ruptured one of my Achilles tendons, and that kind of put me out. And it's actually a good thing, sort of a blessing in disguise. I wasn't spending enough time with my family. I really missed them, and the restaurant industry can be kind of brutal with hours. So it was a good opportunity to take a step back and do something different. So I kind of went back to the art side of things, and now I'm a web designer. And I just cook for friends and family now, and I do my YouTube videos. Love your show, subscribe, and I'll share. What are you drinking? This is called a Boulevardier. That is sort of a spin on a Negroni. So it's part Campari, 1 part sweet vermouth, 1 part, well, it should be rye, but I'm using Four Roses bourbon, and that's simple Boulevardier. And I'm missing the little orange. PDX, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for tuning in. I will catch you next time. Wow, web design, yeah, web designer. Do a little bit of development design, mainly HTML, CSS, some PHP. Do a lot of custom WordPress sites, no themes, mainly like custom builds on a WordPress skeleton. No. I went into web design after I stopped cooking. Yeah, I actually went back to school to learn how to do some coding, but the art school part of me, I had a degree in graphic design, and I used that. That was a good foundation for me to kind of transition from cooking back into the arts and get into web design. Thanks, Christina. Yeah, delish. In fact, I think it's time for me to go because to serve dinner to my family. I know they're starving in the other room, so I need to do that. I'm going to do more of this live streaming, so I hope you guys look forward to that. And I am working on weekly or bi-weekly videos that aren't live. They're edited, and this week will be cinnamon rolls, homemade cinnamon rolls that rye Cinnabon. Trust me, they're really, really good. And then the following week we'll do a roasted chicken. After that, I'm not sure. I have a collaboration set up, working with another channel, Ethan from Cook with E. If you haven't been to his channel, check that out, Cook with E. He's a really nice guy. He does some great content. So we're going to try to collaborate on a video. It might be a pizza theme, not sure yet. But if you have any requests, next time I post or comment below, actually, let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll definitely take that in consideration and throw some stuff in the queue. Awesome. All right, guys, take care. Happy Sunday. I will see you next time. All right.